Hey guys, it's been a while since I've uploaded a YouTube video, and so I've got the opportunity to sit here and talk for hopefully a couple of minutes of your time, just to kind of give you some insights into my first year running my own business and basically having to survive, sink or swim, let's just put it that way. So 2018 has been a massive year for me. Got married to my now wife Jade, which was absolutely incredible, one of the best days of my life. We got a puppy called Dudley who's currently sitting downstairs waiting for me to go and play with him. And we also went travelling for an entire month, which was amazing. I've not taken a holiday in a very long time, like a consistent one anyway. We took a whole month off and we went around Thailand and the Philippines, and it was absolutely incredible. One of the best trips I've ever done in my life. Flip that onto the business side of things, and it's been an absolute emotional roller coaster. I cannot put it any other way. My first year of business, I've ended up hitting my goals, which I was planning on doing or planned to do, and I managed to hit those, which was like just incredible, like for personal, just me personally. But there's definitely been some major downs to what I've done as well. Like, I've had to commit a hell of a lot of time regularly when people have been going out doing stuff. I've either been out busy, just kind of editing, or just like kind of trying to work out better ways of doing things. It's taken a lot of my time. My first year, I've easily worked more days than what I would have done working for a company or anything like that. But it's my own success. Like, if I want this to happen and I want this to be something that I really kind of look back on and I'm happy about, then I have to commit to it. And it's something that I tell the people that I mentor in my coaching, that, you know, it's, if you're going to pursue something, then you're going to you want the liberty of being able to kind of turn around and say, this is mine and I do what I want with it. Then you've got to take the ups and the downs, and like, you've really got to be prepared for those ups and downs. It's hard. Sometimes you get kind of events happen to you last second that you've just got to deal with, cancellations, people not paying. There's all sorts of things that I've learned in the last year that has just been things to deal with. It's also, you know, like, it's also been one of the best things I've ever done. I've met so many great people. I've had the opportunity to shoot with great people that have pushed me onto other work, or like opened me up to other networks of people that are like, you know, have brought me in work, which has been absolutely phenomenal. I've travelled with my photography, which was great. My very first job was to actually fly to Dubai and go and shoot some golf and fitness photos, which for my first job ever as a photographer, like on my own, like a first big job, that was absolutely phenomenal. And I literally will never be able to thank the people that booked me for that enough. And it was a great experience, and something that I learned a hell of a lot from, you know, traveling with my equipment. It's all been on my own, you know, I've got to sink or swim with it. And, you know, I'm really happy with what we made on the week that I was out there. And yeah, like, I've been so fortunate to get so many clients book me this year to do shoots, whether it's transformations or like just people wanting stuff for their social media, or like ebooks, or there's been so many things that I've shot for that have been just like unbelievable. And it's truly amazing what social media has given us in terms of like reaching out to people and getting in contact with people that you never would have thought you would ever have spoken to in your life. I've gained quite a few more followers. Like, you know, I'm not one of these guys with a massive following, but I'm now financially making my following work for me a little bit more, which is really good, like, you know, for me, and like, hopefully I can grow that into more of a sustainable business. But yeah, it's definitely been a hard year. Like, I've never worked this hard in my life, especially to juggle with getting a puppy, the wedding, which admittedly, like, I didn't do a hell of a lot of. My wife did, purely because I just didn't have the time to commit to it. And also, I knew if I got involved, I'd do something wrong. Whereas if she got involved, it was probably gonna look a lot better. And the day went absolutely incredibly. So she did a huge, amazing job on that. So I'm kind of happy I steered clear of that one. But yeah, like, it's been incredible, like, and I really am happy that I've had the opportunity to do what I've done. Would I do it again? Would I do it differently? Some bits, yes. Some of the processes that like I've now got in place, I would have loved to have had it earlier, but at the same time, you can waste a lot of time when you're starting off with putting these processes in place that you don't really know whether you need or not. And I considered it like at the start, and I realised, I mean, I'm not a very organised person in terms of like organising myself. I'm good at like planning an external thing, but when it comes to my own kind of daily stuff, like, it's something that I've really had to work on. And I've even took on like a business coach to help me kind of understand what I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing. that that's something that really has helped me to try and get better as a system. Would I have liked to have had it before? Yes, I'd have loved to have the bits I've got set up now, but I wouldn't have known that I needed them when I did. Like, I didn't know quite a lot of the things that I needed that I've now done. So if any of you are looking to go out there and run your own business and do your own thing, all I can say to you is, like, don't spend too much time getting hooked up on the kind of bits that are around you that feel, oh, I need to have this, I need to have that. Go out and start learning, start doing more, get more contacts, and you'll pick up things along the way. Things will happen, but if you never go out and commit to actually, like, trying to take photos, trying to meet new people, you'll never get those opportunities to happen, and you'll never know about half the issues and half the things that come along with it. When you see someone that's, like, charging a high value for something, it's because they've had the experience and the time in actually making that happen, and doing it to a level where they know that there's fees that they've got to pay, there's backing up of images, there's kind of all sorts of other bits that are included in it. And I often get quite a lot of people, and there's people out there even more expensive than I am, and they turn around and say, oh, how can it be that much? And they don't realise how much goes into all of this, how much time it takes. I spend half my life sitting at my laptop either editing or doing kind of invoices or anything like that, and I know there's systems in place that, like, I can now use to make that time even less, so I can spend more time doing the thing I enjoy. But until you get there, you don't know that. So you've really got to just kind of go all in at, like, trying to do your best at what you can to get your business off the ground, and then worry about those processes afterwards. But yeah, like, I set myself 2 big goals at the start of the year. I wanted to earn more money from myself, from my photography, than I did in my last previous year's employment, which I did about 2-3 months ago, and I've still had work trickling in, so that's been great. And I also wanted to do, I've done my video work that I was doing before on the golf tour, which I generally really enjoyed doing because the people involved with it, I'm getting less keen of spending hours and hours in hotel rooms by myself, but at the same time, like, the people I work with, and I quite enjoy just being outside. Like, I'm quite a laid back person. If I get the opportunity to go out and do something, see people, have a good laugh, and just actually enjoy what I do, that's why I still carried on doing it. I've managed to actually earn more from less time in doing that photography. Like, I've earned more from my photography in less time than doing the work that I've done with that, which wasn't necessarily, like, something that I was, like, adamant that I was going to achieve, but I just wanted to see if I could do it, and I managed to do it roughly at the same time as what I managed to earn more than what it was kind of not too far off with just a few jobs that came in. And suddenly it went from kind of nearing it to, like, suddenly then jumping way past it, and now I'm like, wow, like, what a great year I've had, and what an experience it's been. Some of my other goals have obviously been to set up some things for the future and try taking my business forward, like offering different options and ideas. I know you want to keep business kind of simple and just want to offer one product and kind of rinse and repeat that. I also wanted to be able to offer options for different types of shoots and just stand out for myself, because there's so many other people out there doing the same thing. I knew it was important for me to diversify and actually look for other opportunities to do something else to offer to people that was actually make them go, yes, I want to invest my money into doing that with me. And that's taken time, that's taken a lot of effort. Like, my Make It Rain shoot it's massively changed from when I first started it, and it's improving every time, and the images are getting better, and I'm getting more understanding of what works. And that's cost me the best part of maybe £2,000-3,000 that I didn't realise I was going to have to spend to make it work. But at the same time, now I've invested that money into it, it's become more of a thing that I now want to do more often, because I can actually use the setup that I've got. And there's all sorts of things like that I just never really saw that I was going to be doing. But as these things led on, I realised actually, like, I need to invest into these things and make a bit more of a structure to my system, my business and myself, which that's been one of the best bits that I've had to learn and take on this year, is that I can actually do these things. And one thing I've always said to people is that you can make a mistake with something. Maybe it's because you just didn't understand or didn't know what was actually being asked for, or you've just never experienced what it is that you've made the mistake in, so you just weren't aware and you just did your best with it. People can see it as always just common sense, but then maybe they've had that experience in the past or something similar, so they had an idea in that. I've always been put with, because I'm quite laid back, I've always been put with people who and this is going back for years and years and years, like I've always been put with people that they just needed someone to help kind of get the work done and get moving with it. I've never really had too many people around me that have got really thorough systems and very like kind of solid with their structure and everything. So it's something I've always struggled with. And the more I've learned about doing that and put that principle into myself, like I'm still not great at it, but I'm better than I was. And that's one of the main things that's like actually been really fulfilling about what this year's brought to me, is the fact that I've actually learned how to do things for myself that nobody, like I've gone and invested my time into doing that, and in return I've made myself better. Some of my coaching guys that I get them involved with, actually trying to look at things from a slightly different angle to understand how they're doing it or why they're doing it, and then to understand like the principles afterwards of doing those things right in the first place, to try and teach them that, like, so instead of me just going do this and not understanding why, I want them to go out and learn that like I did and try it the hard way, because it might work for them, it might not. But like the one thing I've really tried to push there is that, like, go out and find your way of doing it and then tweak it as necessary. And that's what I've done with every single bit of my shoots. My lighting's, I believe, got better. My options have got better. Like my natural light photography, which I struggled with when I very first started, has jumped massively. Like the bookings I get for that are now like jumping up through the roof, which is great. So yeah, like it's been an absolute crazy year. I really can't tell you honestly like how proud of myself that I am. I can't even talk now. How proud of myself I am for taking that leap into the unknown. Like it really was something that was daunting. Like I knew I could do it, but I didn't have any proof. There was nothing to say yes or no. There's some great people out there that have given me some like really kind of like inspirational advice and just said you've got to believe in yourself and you've got to go for it, and I did. So I can only kind of say to people that if you're thinking about doing it, you really have to believe in yourself, and like tough times are going to happen, but they're going to happen whether you're running your own business or not. You may have a few other stresses to deal with, but then also you don't have to deal with, you've got no one else to be your boss to. Like there's no one telling you to work tomorrow if you don't want to. So yeah, the whole process has been an absolute dream to experience. Definitely going into next year like with high hopes, fingers crossed that nothing happens like too major with Brexit that kind of puts us in a bad position. But yeah, like it's been an absolute whirlwind of a year, and it was only for like I actually looked on Facebook this morning and I had a picture come up from when I was in Barcelona 5 years ago. I just split up with a girl that I was seeing for a while. I was out there with my dad. I was feeling a bit down and a bit low and wasn't really sure what I was doing with myself, felt all a little bit lost. And I sat in bed this morning, the dog had run upstairs, sat next to my wife having a coffee before we got up for the day. And I suddenly thought to myself, wow, 5 years ago, like you think back 5 years, it's like 5 years just flies past. Yet 5 years ago, that's where I was. I wasn't even shooting photos back then full time. I've built that up over the last few years. I've grown a network of like people that I can go to for advice or actually for work. I've built up a following from a couple of hundred people into a couple of thousand people, which has been unbelievable. And yeah, generally I've had some absolutely amazing experiences out of it. So if I can give you anything from watching this video and listening to me chat on, that if you're going to go and follow your goals or follow your dreams, then you've just got to go all in for it. Like you get one chance to live life. And if you're not happy with something, you've got to take a real level playing field and look at the bigger picture of it. And if you think that you can make it happen and you're going to give yourself the time and you've got the ability to do it, then like please just go 110% at it. Put everything you can into making that work. Don't look for the short-term money, look for the long-term business. And actually just try and be good to people, because the more you're good with people, the more they'll pass on a good word. But yeah, I like to just, if anyone that's been shot with me, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like you've helped support me and my family, plus like you've given me opportunities that I never realised I was going to get. To the clothing companies, to the brands that I've worked with, to the gyms that have let me shoot in them, just to all the opportunities, to the Petrina and that got me over to Dubai, like, thank you so much for all the opportunities. Like, literally, you don't realise how much it means to me, and I really hope that in 2019 that will continue. I'm currently looking at an option to take a few people away to Portugal and shoot out there and make some content for that, so that should be really exciting. I just want to say thank you to everyone that has kind of given me the opportunity to either meet them, work with them, spend a bit of time with them, learn from them. And I generally hope that everyone has an amazing Christmas and an amazing New Year. It's a very stressful time because there's a lot of money being spent and there's stuff all happening all over the place. But generally, thank you so much for watching this. Thank you for following my work. And yes, I hope you have an amazing rest of the year. Well.